And he's like, oh yeah, I got to go at 1 o'clock because I got to sign papers to buy a house. And I said, okay, cool. Tell me about that. He's like, yeah, I'm buying this house in Petersburg for $10,000. And I'm like, you're not buying a house for $10,000. And he's like, yeah, I am. And I'm like, tell me more about this. And he's like, yeah, this is what it is. And I couldn't believe it. With my appliance business, one side of so we did parts. An appliance, washer, dryer, stove, whatever. Let's say something was bad in an appliance. It had a bad part and it cost like $300 to replace, but it had all the other good parts. So we would scrap them, right? Like take out all the good parts, like the timers and all the elements and stuff like that. And I had a pretty big eBay operation. So we sold appliances, but also sold appliance parts.
That's awesome.
And so we sold it a lot. We did a lot of volume on eBay. And I actually met the McReynolds, if you know Joel McReynolds, or his dad and mom run a church and stuff like that. So I kind of knew them, and I got hired as a consultant actually because they kind of knew me. They're like, hey, we run these thrift stores. We want to start an eBay operation. Can you come down for like a couple weeks and like we'll pay you just to like consult and set up our eBay operation? Right. So I was down there. I was helping them set up their eBay operation. And their son, who, this was over a decade ago. Yeah. He was real young. He's like, yeah, Joel, good buddy of mine. He was like, yeah, he was helping us out with the eBay. He's like, I'm gonna send my son down. He's gonna help you, train the guys and stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, I got to go at 1 o'clock because I got to sign papers to buy a house. And I said, okay, cool. Tell me about that. He's like, yeah, I'm buying this house in Petersburg for $10,000. And I'm like, you're not buying a house for $10,000. And he's like, yeah, I am. And I'm like, tell me more about this. And he's like, yeah, this is what it is. And I couldn't believe it. I probably bought my first house in Petersburg like 45 days later for like,
awesome.
I paid $35,000 for my first one.
Yeah.
And then I bought that duplex next door for $15,000. So with renters in it.
Right.
So that was the jump, if that makes
What
sense.
year was this? Like 2018, 19, somewhere?
Something like that. Yeah. Something in that range.
That's awesome. I know Joel. He's a character. Man.
Oh, he's a character, man. They're like the I always joke that like the McReynolds are like the unofficial like mayors of Petersburg. Like everybody knows them. They're really good people.
Yeah.
They do a lot with the nonprofit side and the Regenesis and stuff, and it's amazing. So that's kind of all plants the seeds on like I know people in real estate, but I also like know the nonprofit side, so it's a lot of fun.
It's good to have diverse like real entrepreneurship too. Not to say that real estate is not real entrepreneurship. I just mean like there's the business side of things and creating a company and creating a business, and then there's the real estate business where you're investing in real estate and stuff. They're two different worlds, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You have that background, like looking at nonprofits and working with this church a little bit. You have the corporate background of working with Sears and working alongside Sears, and now you're getting in the real estate game, which is just such a well-rounded perspective at your age is just incredible. It took you 45 days to get your first house. No disrespect. It I think comes down to risk tolerance and stuff like that. Maybe like where they are in their life and stuff. But there are people who I'll see at a meetup who, you talk to them, you say, hey, what's going on? What are you looking for? What do you do? And they're like, I'm still looking for my first deal. Then you see them 2 years later at the same meetup.
Sure.
I'm still looking for my first deal, right? But you're over here and you're like, you're obviously taking action. Like, to me, that's what it comes down to is maybe it's easier for me to say because I have a lower risk or maybe a higher risk. I'm willing to take more risk, right? And so, but within 45 days, you're obviously set up for all this mentally. Like, you're prepared to take risks and to take action and stuff like that. But how do you make your first real estate move to purchase a house in 45 days from talking to someone else who's done it?
Yeah, well, I guess being in business with the other, the appliance business and stuff like that. I mean, I was already used to like buying equipment, buying trucks, buying this, buying that.